Hey guys, Midget here, welcome to another episode of my Walking Dead video reviews. Today we're reviewing episode 2 of season 5 and it's called Strangers. Yeah, so hey guys, you know, this is the second week I'm doing this. I'm back basically, as you can see. I'm back doing reviews for The Walking Dead, and it's pretty cool. I couldn't remember what it was like doing weekly Walking Dead reviews, and you know, I got the first taste of that last week as I first, you know, got my well, what was the word I got? Just my first dose of The Walking Dead, so it's kind of like nice to have it back. But however, let's get straight into the review for season 2. Season 5 episode 2 called Strangers. It starts off with a little motion track of the Terminus building burning, I guess, and the group doing their regular stuff. You know, I think Carl was feeding Judith at one point, and it was just the regular stuff you do. Nice to see the group going back to their normal life. From such a hectic ending of last season. It's all calming down now, or at least we think at this stage. It's all calming down now, it's like really nice and stuff, and the group are going back to their normal life. But then Rick and Tara like talk, and Rick forgives her for, he says, I know you didn't mean to do what you did, basically, with the governor, and all this stuff, you get the point, and he forgives her. And what I found amusing about that was that she gave him a fist bump. You know, he was like, you finished talking to him, she was like, yeah, and he gave her a fist bump, which was kind of cool, you know, how seeing that there's still some humanity left in people, as like, if you're not going to fist bump anyone if you're a walker, you know, it's just nice to see someone having, like I said, humanity, and on a small scale bringing stuff to a normal level, I guess. But anyway, then we see Michonne, that she goes to kill a walker. There was just this random walker walking about, and she goes to kill him, and what happens is she tries to pull out her sword, but she forgets she doesn't have it, so it's really funny. She's like, oh yeah, and just about when it's meant to like bite her, she hits her with the gun. And that was cool again, like the fact that it brought back, like, the Carol didn't manage to what's the word? Carol found Daryl's crossbow, but she didn't find anything else. It's kind of like weird, isn't it? I don't know what she was thinking. Maybe she just didn't see it or anything. But nevertheless, moving on, something creeps up on like unaware Daryl and Carol, and then the credits start. So how it is, like, it's Carol saying, I don't want to talk about it. Presuming she's talking about burning David and the other girl, Kristen, something like that, Tyrese's girlfriend. She burns them back in like season 4. If you didn't watch season 4, spoilers, but you shouldn't be watching this right now anyway, so it's not my fault, I'm just saying. And she says she don't want to talk about it, and Daryl's fine with it. And then Daryl like walks hears something, so he looks out in the distance, but there's nothing there, which is fine, and he goes back to something, but he's still suspicious, and we obviously see something like creep around Daryl's view, you know, like it's looking like the thing is looking at him. The camera angle was like looking at him, like it's someone looking at him, and then we just see this like black object walking across the screen. But then the credits start, like I said, and once the credits start, some dude like is crying for help, and it turns out to be Father Gabriel. You could see it. If you are like a good follower of The Walking Dead, so you'd know about the Father Gabriel, and as soon as you like saw, I saw the split second of him, I already knew what the actor looked like, and so I knew that was Father Gabriel. So some people might have not known that and just was like, what? Who is he? But it's funny because he'd be sick, like he literally physically vomits, because I don't know how, because by now the zombie apocalypse has been like out for 3 months. No, not 3 months, 3 years I would have said in that universe. So for him to still get sick over walkers is very weird. However, he did say he never went out that far from his church or the building he's staying in, so we can see why maybe he didn't really get confronted with walkers, as then later on he said that he didn't kill or touch any walkers, or, and you know what I mean, touch some walkers sounds very bad, but you get that point. He didn't like do anything, kill, have a gun, he didn't do any of that stuff, so yeah. but like the group trusts him enough to like walk with him, but then doesn't trust him. Like all the group thinks he's hiding something, which he then says, maybe I'm not even leading you to a church, because he was meant to lead them to a church. Maybe I'm not even leading you to a church, I'm just walking you into a trap. And he's like, my sense of humour, people said, wouldn't get me out of trouble or something. And Daryl's like, yeah, it wouldn't, because they start getting even more suspicious over that you might be leading them into a trap. But yeah, that's how it ends up, and he does lead them to a church, and just before he enters, Rick takes his keys off of him and look through the church, and we see, you know, he ripped the Bible out a couple of times, or was it just, I don't know, because he wrote like Genesis out a couple of times, which, or maybe it was just one Genesis thingy, might be the whole chapter that long, I don't even know, but nonetheless. So he did that, and you can see that he's a bit awkward, but he's not a bad man. You can see that he wouldn't kill anybody. But Rick has this hatred towards priests and churches, because if you remember back in season 2 in the premiere, I believe it was, Carl got shot, and he did say he went into a church, he went pray, or before he got shot, he went into a church and he prayed for Sophia to get found, or give him a sign. And the sign was that Carl got shot. So next time he talked about churches, he went, oh yeah, Herschel asked him something in season 2, I believe it was, yes. Do you believe in God? And he was like, the last time I talked to God, my son got shot. So he's got this hatred towards churches and priests and everything involved in religion, I would assume now, Rick. And he's got this trauma, you know. But yeah, so they plan to, as Father Gabriel tells them, they plan to raid this nearby house, but they don't trust Gabriel, and he said he was going to draw them a map. However, Rick insists that he comes with them. You're like, we're not having you. And Carl and Rick talk, and Rick tells them the usual stuff, you know, you're looking after Tyrese and Judith. If you find anything thingy, tell me, and be aware, because Carl starts like liking Gabriel and stuff, which is completely understandable, you know what I mean. But then like they get to the food bank. Rick, Michonne, Bob, Sasha and Gabriel, they all get to the food bank, and there's walkers in the water. There was like a hole in the ground, and there was a bit of water where the rain fell through, and the walkers were just there, and they get through them, put this like barricade of just aisles basically, and kill all the walkers. But Gabriel sees someone that he previously knew when they weren't dead, and he runs away, and then just pussies out and just stays there like, oh god, I'm gonna die. And the walker almost creeps up to him, but I think it was Rick managed to kill the walker, and he was like in shock. He was just like praying. I wasn't praying, but you get the point. He was just doing loads of gestures, but yeah, I'd expect you do that. But yeah, Rick gets there just in time, and Bob walks into a walker who grabs him, but nothing happens, or so he says. I don't trust Bob. It's not that I don't trust him, it's just loads of people said that, you know, nothing's happened. For example, in season 1, was it? Jim said nothing happened, and he ended up getting bitten. So it's kind of, everyone acts suspicious when they get bitten, and later on in the episode we see Bob get really suspicious. We get really suspicious of Bob. But he says nothing happens, and we're all looking like, oh, I see a walker there, you know what I mean? Like, you could see the bubbles, but obviously, if you was in his position, you wouldn't really see them either. I was just thinking, I was like, look that way, for example, and you're looking at an aisle, and there's just a tiny bit of bubbles. You just thought walkers, you're not really focused enough on the tiniest little aspect or something. But, yeah, so that's just a little, I bailed him out there, I guess. But they bring the food group, bring like the food out of the food bank in like food carts back to the church, and Carl finds this little like knife holes where he says someone was trying to get in, and then he finds another little sign, or just carved into the wood. It says, you'll burn for this, which he said that Gabriel isn't necessarily a bad person because he wrote that, but he might have not wrote that. I was thinking he might have got like, someone might have wrote that for him, but once you see that like they're drinking wine again, and Rick makes a toast, so it was nice to see Rick make a toast, because toast is like a sign of peace and symbolizes, you know, peaceful and happiness. But then it brought back memories to me personally of the CDC when he made that toast for our lovely host, Dr. Jenner, where Jenner was just by himself and all the group was like got drunk and stuff, and then Abraham took advantage of them all being drunk, and he said, let's go to the DC, and told him his plan about Eugene. And Judith really bailed Abraham out, I believe, because Rick didn't look too happy. Everyone was like, I think he's telling the truth, I think we should go. But Rick wasn't really buying it until Judith like spoke her first words or mumbled something. He's like, I think I'm in if Judith's in. So Judith really saved Abraham there. And then, like I said, Rick and Judith are in, and then Bob walks towards the end of the church, and then the second break happened, so we didn't know what happened there. I was presuming he was getting bitten, because, you know, he was acting suspicious. He gave Sasha, like, a kiss. He was like, can I have another one? Like, it would be his last time kissing her or something. So he walks out, and after the break, we see that Father Gabriel gets confronted. Rick understands that he's got some sort of, like, problem and he's hiding something, but he doesn't get too fussed about the problem or the hiding something part, but he goes, if my family, he calls the group his family, if his family get hurt in any way, he's gonna kill Father Gabriel. And he doesn't care about his problem or his hiding thing, which is nice to see that not everyone is suspicious of everything. But then again, he goes, if my family get in any way or shape or form hurt, then I'm going to kill you, which is reassuring from the family perspective. But Father Gabriel might be like, I'm not hiding anything, why are you harassing me or something. But while Daryl and Carol are doing something with that car, they see a car with a square drive past. I don't know if this was in chronological order, so it might have been what happens next. Bob gets knocked out and it's the termites they drive past. It might be that, but it might also just be a random car and we get to see our next episode. But for now, Daryl smashes the car's windows for the light not to like appear, and literally drives or runs somewhere. But then that's basically the last thing we see, apart from the ending, and that is fucking mindfuck. I know I try not to swear very often, but it was an utter mindfuck. I gotta. So Bob is like outside. I think he's bitten. I do, but I'll get onto that in the question section afterwards. I think he was bitten, but whatever. And what happens is like he starts crying. I think he smiles and then starts crying. I don't know if that was because he finally feels peace and loved, or he was bitten and he wanted to kill himself, but he gets knocked out by some random guy. Then he wakes up and Gabriel Stokes starts talking to him, and he's like scaring him and creeping us out because he was talking about something. And we then realise, like Gareth said, that the termites are now the hunters. And I wasn't really paying attention apart from that part. And then he started talking about cannibalism, and then we see like a bit Gareth biting into a steak or something, and then he just goes, we need to eat. And I caught that bit out, and then like he goes, you taste better than I thought you would. And Bob starts crying, and then you just see his like foot on the grill or on the fire, and I was like, damn, Bob's screwed. And I don't know if Rick will think Gabriel is in on this and kill him or whatever, but that's basically it, guys. That's basically it for the my sum up of the story. And I like this episode, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and at the end it was a mindfuck, let's say. I just didn't know what was happening. It was kind of boring, but then it was like, what the hell? And if you really paid attention to it, it was creeped out. Gareth says something creepy. He obviously eats Bob, and it's just wow. But the episode overall was very good. Was it better than Premium? People say not, but I don't know. I think it was on the same level. Okay, maybe not. It's just a bit worse. So, like I said, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. But now let's go on to the questions. So, the first question here is, does Tara like Glenn? Because at the start you see Glenn kiss Maggie or something, and Tara quickly look at him and be like, So I don't know if that was because she wanted to get out to Maggie that she was in the governor's group, like she told her after. She told her, but I don't know if she was trying to say that or that she fancies Glenn. I guess she was just trying to tell Maggie that she was in the governor's group because obviously Tara's a lesbian, but there isn't too many girls there apart from Rosita and Maggie and Carol, so she might turn straight, maybe, but I just guess she was just saying the thing about telling Maggie about her dad and everything. But then I start of the episode, just before Bob and Sasha kissed, I looked at and I was like, that looks like a relationship to me. So now we've got like the relationship between, or what we think, Rick and Michonne. We've got one between Carol and Daryl, and now we've got Sasha and Bob, which is just like The Walking Dead turning into a romantic feeling type movie. But yeah, that's basically it. And what is Gabriel hiding? I do not know. He obviously showed us that picture of that girl that he was running away from when she was a zombie. I don't know if that was his like first Holy Communion girl type thing, I don't know. Or maybe a family relative, friend's daughter or friend, I don't know. But I don't know what he's hiding. He could be hiding nothing, he's just really scared, but he does look a bit like he was hiding something. But last question, looks like Bob was bitten. What if they eat the bitten part? Because you see him crying, don't you? And let's face it, every time something like that happens, the person's mostly bitten. So, what the hell? And if they ate the bitten part, would Bob die? Yes, he might die of blood loss, but would the like virus have spread up his body? He might not also be bitten, so we might not. But if they ate it, would they get the virus as well and all die? That would be fun to see. That would be really fun to see. But anyway, guys, that was basically my review of the second episode, Strangers. So if you enjoyed, make sure to give this episode a like. And you said this Midget, I'm going to see you guys next time.